At VidCon, I eavesdropped on a conversation between this person who I used to watch on the internet and two other people. We are really not going to name names here. This person was talking to these business types about their experience with YouTube, and it was really interesting. They are just a working actor person, and they see it as a business, and they see it as a job. It just so happens that in addition to acting, this person has found that they also need to be relatable because the YouTube audience needs that. So they make some vlogs and some Q&A videos, and it is all an act. As an actor, they have completely made up their relatability and their quirks for the sake of their income, you know, this is their job. And in the course of this conversation, I learned a lot about some other famous YouTubers and their incomes and in what ways they act / were taught to act to maximize their audience and their income.
Welcome back to What is a YouTuber? Hannah's story about what she overheard at VidCon was a really good way to start this episode. What is a YouTuber? YouTube, the performance. There's this thing about YouTube and vlogging in particular where people think it's more personal, perhaps more genuine. How much of what we actually see on YouTube do we think of as real, and how much of it do we think of as performance?
I make a point to subscribe to people that are people.
I feel that YouTube has performances, but it's more genuine than other things.
It's hard to give exact figures, but I would say 50%. I don't just mean what I watch, but I mean 50% of the people I watch.
I think a lot of it is a performance.
There are people who are blatantly a persona and blatantly performing, and then there are people who you can't really tell if they're performing.
There are many different levels of it.
One of the YouTubers I like, he told me, he admitted that he combs his hair before his videos.
I feel like every aspect of our lifestyle, whether it is our outfits or how we act around other people, is a performance.
Everyone performs constantly all the time when they're in front of people.
Certain people very extremely perform, other people slightly do, some people don't really at all. I mean, I feel like when you're making a YouTube video, you are choosing to make it. You are choosing to say the words that you say.
I think when you turn a camera on and people are aware that you're filming them, it's gonna turn into a performance whether you mean it to or not.
I'm a picture hung in a frame. It's real, but its presentation is controlled.
Soundbite, hashtag.
Isn't it a very normal reaction to, if you know a camera is being pointed at you, to stop acting normal and to start performing?
If my mum came in the room and I was kind of like ill and she was like, "Are you okay?" I wouldn't be like, "Oh, hi mum, I'm fine. Yes, this is how I feel brilliant." Because that's not the performance necessary for that interaction.
I spend a lot of time sitting there and watching all the videos of one person, and I kind of feel like you can see they have a character, and it's almost as if they have developed a character.
Even if I'm just being honest, some of it's performance, because YouTube's a stage. Soundbite, hashtag.
You have to realize when you're watching a YouTube video, they made the video what they wanted it to be. They're not trying to make you think that they're something that they're not, but they're definitely showing you what they want to show you.
It's like the many different faces of man. Each one is a performance, but are they lies? I don't think so.
YouTube is becoming more and more about the performance, and it is less personal. It's part of the evolution. The general thing here on YouTube is to get bigger, to build an audience, how to brand. These are words that you would not have heard at the very beginning of YouTube.
I think I have been very lucky that I have missed out on a lot of things that could be construed as performance.
It goes back to the whole Auger thing of non-acting. Was it Auger? No, it wasn't Auger, was it? Fuck. No, I think it was. No. I don't know, but the whole like acting, non-acting thing. If you've got somebody on a stage playing cards, and all they're doing is playing cards, are they performing? Because, like, yeah, there's a whole act that's happening, but they're not necessarily like they're not acting it. Or are they?
Performance.
Everyone directly involved in the episodes of this series are content creators. We make our own videos, and when we do that, are we performing? And if we are, how conscious of that are we?
I don't intend to perform, but I think I do put on a slightly different voice.
I do occasionally use, exaggerating voices or hand motions. Maybe a little bit bigger than I do in real life because it's a visual media.
When I'm trying to formulate my thoughts, as I am doing now, I feel like my hand movements are a way of filling that or just livening up my personality.
This is the best version of me talking about things, whereas if I was just talking to my friends or just chatting, I would not talk like this, but that's probably because they just mug me off.
What you have to do when you are in presentational mode is that you emphasize certain words, you have gestures, you make pauses, you have certain rhetorical strategies.
There's always a sense of performing in my head. Not only is it a way to distance yourself, because let's face it, it's the internet, anyone could be watching, but it's also a way to recreate yourself.
I'm the picture, this is the frame. You see what I let you see, and you hear what I let you hear in the way I want you to hear it.
I feel like the whole art of YouTubing, of talking to yourself in your bedroom and uploading it and sharing it with the world, is not natural, and it is performative. Even editing videos, you're trying to be the most polished, funniest, smartest, exaggerated version of yourself in order to make people like you. Please, please like me. That's all we want as YouTubers. I'm joking.
I get very tense sometimes on school trips when there are like museum guides who just don't know how to talk to pupils, and I'm just like, I'm standing next to them like cringing internally saying, no, please don't do that. They won't be able to listen to you.
I think what you see is performed, but I would also say that they are the ideas that I do truly hold, and I'm not acting as someone else.
I don't think I ever go into the performance stage of recording a video.
I would say that I'm conscious of the fact that this could be considered performance, but I wouldn't say that I'm going out of my way to perform. Like, I'm just talking to the camera. You can say that my act of talking is a performance. I don't consider it performance myself.
I try and be genuine with my viewers because I personally believe that if you're not genuine with them, how can you expect them to be genuine with you?
I want people to like me for me, when you try and be the person that your crush likes so that they'll like you, and then you realize that they don't like you, they like this fake thing. Like, that happens in every teen TV show or movie, and so you see that and go, oh, I'm never gonna do that.
Whoa, hold on a second. You know what it's like? It's like we're all Greek gods and goddesses and heroes, because at times, we're all trying to embody a certain kind of human emotion or human aspect. End of soundbite. #awesome.
Performance!
It's undoubtable that some of what we see on YouTube is performed, but how does that affect our perception of it? Is it negative? Do we think of it as false? Or does it actually improve our viewing experience?
You should always be aware that the person you're watching is not exactly that person.
If you ever are to meet these people in real life, I think you have to be aware that the people they are on camera is a little bit performed, and that in reality they might not be exactly the person that they are on camera.
It is very good to acknowledge that, because it sort of helps to counteract this kind of fangirl hero worship culture.
This is one of the reasons I think VidCon is important, because I can sort of gauge what kind of person a YouTuber is in real life and hold it up to their videos and see if they match up.
When people claim that they're not performing and they are, that kind of is a bit frustrating, because it seems a bit non-authentic, and authenticity, I guess, is really important, especially if that's part of your brand.
If you're performing and people are aware that you're performing, people are much more receptive to the message you're portraying, whereas if you're performing and acting out something that is intended to be genuine, then I think that is just lying.
Is what they're talking about real, or is that the performance? Are they performing a truth?
I don't want to be fooled into something thinking it's real when it isn't.
We really want vlogs to be extremely personal. That's a really tough and complicated thing to give yourself completely and it's vulnerable.
I no longer watch television, and one of the reasons I no longer watch television is I do not want to emotionally engage in fictitious individuals.
I could be all like gestury and silly voices and, you know, just kind of crazy. And is that performing? No, that's just me being goofy.
You're never going to be in a situation where someone isn't acting a certain way. You act differently with different people, but it doesn't mean that it's false.
You're different all the time, and if you're not, then you're weird and people wouldn't like you, so it's fine. If you're not different with your nan to you are with your best mate, that's weird. Not because... unless they're the same person, and that'd be lovely. I love my nan.
Hashtag.
If I can tell someone has written a script for this video, I think that's awesome. It's very organized, and it's probably a very well thought out video because of that.
I would even say that the thing I don't want to watch on YouTube is unfiltered real life content, like a creepy look into people's private lives. No, thank you very much.
I understand that people say things in slightly more dramatic or exaggerated ways when they're talking on YouTube for the sake of it being in a video, and I don't mind that.
Performance is cool, but if you don't get any sense of the person behind the performance, just goes up in smoke. That's what that was. That wasn't duck face, that was smoke.
A number of things go into my perception of content. I don't think performance is necessarily what makes content good or bad.
I study theatre at university, so this week's topic was particularly interesting for me. I really enjoyed hearing everyone's different opinions about this sort of thing, and I'd really like to hear your opinions on it too. If there was anything at all that you found particularly interesting, or there was a point you wanted to pick up on that someone made, then please do that in the comments or make a video response, which you can link in the comments below. I think commenting is a really vital part of the YouTube experience, and it's something that's definitely been highlighted in the last couple of weeks. I want to know if you're a YouTube user who doesn't make videos, but maybe you still consider yourself part of the YouTube community, or even a YouTuber. I was a viewer and commenter for a long time before I started making videos, and video making is not for everyone. So if this applies to you, let me know in the comments what you think about the term YouTuber being used to describe people who don't make videos. And for those of you that do make videos, the challenge this week is to create a video in which you are playing a character. You can do it in any form you want. It could be a sketch or a vlog or a beauty tutorial. It's completely up to you. But if you link those below, that would be really brilliant. This was the penultimate episode of this series, and I'm really looking forward to episode 5. I'll see you next week.
End of soundbite. Hashtag awesome. I just learned that one today, I think. Hashtag